Awesome. So excited and honored to have Eliza Eshelman, also known as Za. Daily Run with Za on the podcast today. Really, it's such an honor. You're an amazing inspiration for so many people out there.
Okay.
I think you're at 23 years run streak, running every day through pregnancy, childbirth, race recoveries, sickness, all the things that life throw at you. So it's just an incredible feat. And it's all chronicled on your Instagram, which is an amazing Instagram. So for everyone out there, check it out. And thanks so much for joining.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited to talk about running and everything else.
Yeah. So let's jump right into the categories. What would you say are your three most memorable running moments?
Um, Excellent question. So, yeah, if I were to narrow it down to three, for example, I had a great run this morning. So, I don't know. It's just like day by day. But then it's also most memorable runs. Sometimes we think about the most challenging runs. So when it comes to a run streak, so just to kind of maybe summarize what a run streak is, it's running every single calendar day. If you run for at least a year, you can say you have a run streak. So there's an association called it's the Streak Runners International. And I found this back maybe a year into my run streak. So I just started running every day because I loved running. Um, so when it comes to a run streak, most memorable are oftentimes the days where it's like the odds are against us. So yeah, every day sometimes I reflect on like crazy runs. But most memorable, like this morning was great because I was running. Sometimes you're in a run and you're like, wait, I forgot I was even running. You're such in like a great kind of cadence and, you have like all the thoughts but no thoughts at the same time. So I love those runs. You almost feel like you're just flying. You don't have like any pains or aches. It's like, wow, like you just find that stillness in the moment. So that's a recent memorable run because it was 12 hours ago or whatever.
Last.
Um, well, not, yeah, I can't do math, but maybe the second, uh, I've ran in airports before. So I had a fear of flying internationally so I traveled to India to study yoga on and off for over 5 years. I would travel there annually. So I had to run a 5K in the Heathrow airport. So that's a memorable
Whoa.
run. Yeah, because first I was like, okay, I'm just going to run a mile. Like I laced up my shoes as we got to the airport. I think it was like from Chicago to London, laced up my orange Nikes that I was wearing at the time. And I'm like, all right, we're just going to deboard the plane and I'm going to start my watch and do a run, like pretend nobody's there. Because I'm like, we have that anxiety or the overthinking of like, how is this going to happen? But I think like in any times in our life, it's like you just have to be in the moment. Just don't let the mind make it worse. So I started my run like I would do at any run. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to run a mile. And then I got to a mile. I'm like, hey, I'm just gonna run a 5K. So I just kept running. And yeah, when I was done with the run, I was like drenched with sweat because it's like inside. And I didn't realize like, oh, I should have brought a change of clothes. So I went through customs and I'm like, I just got off the plane and I'm like drenched in sweat and I go through customs. And they didn't ask why I was sweating profusely, but I thought it was really funny. Because
That's
like I
awesome.
just show up drenched in sweat. Like nobody asked questions. And I'm like, all right. Let's see. My third most memorable run. There's, yeah. Also with the run streak, I can remember almost every day. I've kept like a handwritten log. I can go back to like October 12th, 2009. I see the run. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that day, like what I was thinking, what I ate, how I was feeling or whatever. So I could tell you thousands of memorable runs, but just to play along, let's see, maybe a shorter story of, um, travel always gets the best of us as far as like planning. So maybe like an early morning, like 3 a.m. run, because now I always run before flights. Uh, so just running in the dark, which is like, I hate running in the dark, but it's sometimes you got to do it.
Yeah, I do it like all winter.
Yeah, because you're an early morning runner, right?
Mhm. Totally. In New York, it's like dark, cold, but there's also a peacefulness to it, I find.
That's true. Well, actually, going off that memorable run, I was in New York City in December of this year. We had that first big snowfall, and it was like Sunday morning, and I went out for my run because I had to get it done early. And I was the only one in Central Park running with the falling snow. So I was like, where is everyone? But
Exactly.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the few times in New York where it's like quiet, like I run the bridges and I'll be on the bridge like just me. There's nobody else on the bridge, and it's
Yeah.
like dark and a big moon in the sky over the river. I'm like, this is awesome. All right, cool. Let's keep it moving. What about your top 3 running shoes?
All right. So also, little side story. I guess I have archives of my running throughout the year. So I've saved every single one of my shoes from the very first day of my run streak, and I have them all categorized, from like uh, August 2002 to maybe spring 2002. I had these shoes. They're all categorized. And I know people are like, why don't you recycle your shoes or donate them? You don't want to have my shoes. Like, I don't want anybody to wear these shoes. They're down to the very ends.
Yeah.
So my favorite running shoes, Nike, the Lunar Trainers, which came out in, are you familiar, Lunar Trainer back in, okay. I also used to work at a running store. So 2000, circa 2008, 2009, I'd say. Yeah, because it was before. So anyway, Nike came up with the Lunar Trainers, and I was able to log over 1,000 miles in these shoes, no problem. And guess what? They discontinued them. So in 2011, I went to a Nike outlet store and bought like 12 pairs. That lasted me actually almost 10 years because I lowered my mileage when I was pregnant. And so at 10 years, I had a decade worth of shoes. So those are like, yeah, I kind of wish I would have, invested
Bought
more
even
in them,
more.
but I had a or it was 25% off, 40% off on that in the Nike outlet store. Um,
Wow.
yeah. And then second favorite current shoes I'm wearing now, shout out to anybody that can find these because Nike discontinued my favorite pair of shoes once again, the Nike Invincibles. I'm in the Invincible 3. They were going to make the Invincible 4, but then they changed it into the Vomero, which I hate stability shoes. And I hate just like the bulkiness of shoes. Um, yeah, so I'm down. I have 2 pairs right now. They're at 500 miles each. So I'm like, oh great. I'm trying to find, I'm gonna leave that third one empty because I need to transition and find another like ride or die pair of shoes. And
Got you.
yeah, I'm very picky when it comes to running shoes because I'm very paranoid about getting injured. And if I start a run in the shoes I'm wearing, I have to finish a run. I can't stop a minute in. I have to just complete the run. Yeah. So
I feel you.
yeah.
No, no, 100%.
And what are you running?
I have different, like, basically different shoes in my rotation. Kind of my everyday trainers are my favorite are the New Balance 1080s.
Okay.
I love those. I run in those like a lot of my just normal easy runs, and then I have um I really like I've started racing in the New Balance. I think they're like the Super Comp, the carbon one. That's what I've been doing,
Okay.
like my marathon and my half marathons in. And then I have Sauconys. I have other just different daily trainers that like I rotate in and out. I change it up.
Yeah. What's good?
Yeah, I change it up.
It's hard for me to change it up. I just get kind of
You
stuck
get
in.
locked in.
Yeah. And then they discontinue them. And
Right. Yeah, for years I was Adidas too. I had all kinds of Adidas shoes, but I've for whatever reason I love the New Balance. The New Balance seems to really work with me and my feet. So
yeah.
yeah. What about your top 3 running moments that didn't go as planned?
Um, yeah, everything according to plan for the most part.
Yeah.
Weather-wise, I've run through some storms, like go out and it's lightning and thundering. And once again, I can't like just stop my run. So yeah, it doesn't go as planned because you can't control the weather, but that's part of the fun about running, right? You just, whatever life throws at you, you have to get through. Um, There was another one I was thinking.
Yeah, clearly you deal with adversity well. It doesn't seem to stop you.
Yeah, true. And I try to plug that into other aspects of life, which is actually could be harder than just to run.
Right.
So yeah. Let's see. Another moment would be um, so yeah, we took a trip to. So I live in Indiana. We flew or drove from Indiana to New York City and had some stops. We stopped in Cooperstown, New York. So anytime we're in some random town, obviously I have to run, and it's really hard to figure out where to run. Like I kind of
Yeah.
just go with the flow and be like, all right, I'm just going to step outside, see what happens. So I ended up running on this New York State highway. I forget what the numbers are, but didn't go as planned because uh, it was a highway.
Cars are like driving 60 miles an
And it
hour.
was really hilly and all that. So, and then another one, we're Lafayette, Indiana. Don't recommend. We were staying at a hotel, kind of just ran around shopping centers. And in some ways, it's like that's part of the run streak. You can't plan everything. And I feel like in our day to day life, the mind really wants us to plan everything. And, okay, I'm saving this much and I'm depositing this in my IRA. I'm going to do this, right? And it never goes that way, right? So it's like same thing with the run. I try not to over plan. Um, because more often it doesn't go as planned. Or like sometimes you plan, wow, I had a great run yesterday. I'm gonna have a great run today. You get out there like, what's wrong? I didn't have another good run, right? So it's part of the expectations. Which if you anybody that runs, what it's like. Wow, I feel pretty good today. I could go for a run. You get out there, oh, that didn't go as planned. So it's just
Yeah.
a matter of the next day. Try it again, and so
Yeah, I
forth.
hear what you're saying. It's like the illusion of control.
There you go. Yeah,
Yeah.
which I like to control things, but sometimes you got to learn.
What are your top three pieces of essential gear outside of shoes?
Okay. I'm a very minimalist type of runner. So, and also, yeah, when I was training for marathons, 2008 to 2012, I was really into like the 1970s and how they trained. Back in the 70s, guess what? They didn't have water belts. They didn't have gels. They didn't have electrolyte powder, whatever. I don't really keep up with I feel like they're all kind of trends too.
Mhm.
Um, so I'm a very minimalist runner. Garmin tried to do a partnership with me through 2022, and I said tried because then I forgot to make videos about it. But I got a watch.
Nice.
Yeah. So I guess the gear, I use Strava every day on my phone.
Yeah.
That's kind of gear because I like to, I mean, I still handwrite and track my runs. But I just started using Strava in 2020 because my Timex watch broke. And I was trying to use my stopwatch on my phone, but it kept randomly pausing. So my friend for like 5 years was trying to get me to download Strava to do the challenges or whatever. And anyway, I ended up downloading Strava so I could record my runs.
Yep.
And then this Garmin, I don't even have the app. I just use it as like a backup in case Strava dies. I can take a picture of my watch for proof. Now that my streak is shared with other people, I feel like I got to keep
Sure.
up with like the
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
recording instead of me just handwriting things.
Keep it official.
Yeah. And then third gear, I'd have to say my strong mental state.
Oh, I love it.
Okay. Which took some time to develop, but it can happen.
And like you said Strava, but it sounds like almost your running log is kind of an
Yeah,
essential piece of gear too. Like that handwritten, that's almost part of your process.
true. Mhm.
Super cool. Okay, so what about your top three running pet peeves? Do you have any that come to mind?
I mean, I could write a book, and it might be part of my book, just a whole chapter.
Okay, good.
So I'm a very like lone runner. I don't even remember the last time. Oh, I do remember okay, Erica, I ran with her in Central Park in May. Maybe I ran with three people this entire year. Yeah, I just don't really like running with people. It is fun, meet up with a friend and run. But I just like my run this morning. I like to just do the run, right? And I don't need to entertain somebody. And I don't have to like realize, okay, am I breathing too loudly for you? Or, we're just like in the zone running. So a pet peeve would be like, I guess running with people that push the pace, ask me questions, uh, another
Yeah.
running pet peeve. Oh, I actually hate stoplights. And I'm actually, this is, if you see my obituary, it might be like I got ran over by a car. Because oftentimes I'm like, I don't even look both ways. I just run. And then I go across the street and I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, that was totally a stoplight. I should have kind of made sure there was no cars coming. Um, so where I run every day is just kind of like loops in this back neighborhood. So I don't have to cross.
Right.
Yeah, cars just are a big pet peeve because it's like,
Totally.
yeah, they're annoying. But I love like trails that you can just run down and back. Um, let's see, another pet peeve. We got people, we got cars. um, hmm. I guess it's just those are kind of things that are out of my control, maybe. But
Yeah. I
mhm.
mean, those are two strong ones. It's cool. So, do you still run races? I have your top three favorite races, but I know like you certainly have done many in the past. But does that apply to you? Your top three favorite races?
Yeah, I kind of stopped racing um, January of 2010, where I just stopped in the middle of the Miami Marathon and decided, yeah, why am I doing this? I'm
What's the
just going to
point?
run, yeah, 5 more miles, go to this yoga place, and then lay by the pool. Like, I don't want to do this. But yeah, I've done races. I was competitive cross country track runner in college.
Wow.
And then after that, ran marathons. And then I was going to train 2010. I was going to train for this 50K because I was really great at distance. And I would finish a marathon and I'd be like, all right, yeah, let's go. Let's do another run.
Still more in
Um,
the tank.
yeah. But yeah, then I found yoga and I kind of went through this process of finding the middle way in a lot of my life and realizing that, oh, I don't have to run 80 to 90 miles a week. You know, I can find a middle way of balancing a yoga practice and running. Um, so yeah, ran many 5Ks, 10Ks, marathons. I guess the most memorable race. Um, I don't know. Let's see. Well, I ran the Boston Marathon in 2009,
Oh
which,
wow, cool.
and it was like the peak of the Boston Marathon. So I just finished Columbus Marathon. What do you call it? Qualified for Boston. And my
Mhm.
dad actually, so I was born outside Boston. And my dad's like, yeah, just you should sign up and do it. I'm like, I don't really know. Should I? So anyway, we had this trip out to Boston and it was mostly, and then I feel like it became like a big thing. I know it was a big thing before, but I didn't realize like Boston, people spend their whole lives qualifying for Boston. So I'm glad I
Yep.
did that, but also kind of hated the race.
You
Like,
did.
yeah, the whole like 26 miles, people are yelling at you, screaming,
Mhm.
cheering for you. I don't know. I'm glad I did it, but it, yeah, it wasn't, I guess I didn't really like the hype around it,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah, that's not for everybody. Like big city marathons is not for everybody. I totally hear
Yeah.
you. I do those, which and I love them, but I also do like the small ones. I go upstate and I run these really small marathons, and I love those. There's actually moments where sometimes there's no one else around and stuff, like it's just me, and it's just quiet and you can be much more just like within yourself, and I love those.
Mhm.
Um, what about your top three favorite places to run?
Hmm. Let's see. Okay. So number one, so my family has a kind of farm area and there's long country roads. So when I did most of my marathon training, I would run literally west 10 miles, turn around, east, come back, like just flat Indiana roads.
Wow.
Yeah. And then the cars didn't really bother me. Like I'd actually have this thing, any amount of miles I ran, that's how many cars I would see. Like if I ran 7 miles, I'd see 7 cars.
That's funny.
So that's my favorite place to run because I mean also the conditions can be horrible, like gusting winds.
Yeah.
But it's just like great memories of when I first started running, and it was just barren country roads. There's just something about the stillness of that, and like a mile on country roads feels so much shorter than like a mile in Central Park. You know, you're just like because you see the stop sign at the beginning of the mile. So just anything like monotonous and like boring is my favorite place to run.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, if I could run anywhere, just because it's good memories of when I first started running. Um, Pretty much, I'm not really that picky when I run, just as long as there's not a lot of stoplights. Uh, yeah, the
That's your
place,
criteria.
yeah, where I run every morning is just like loops around this neighborhood, and people see me like, people that live there. We're starting to know each other's names, where you just kind of wave at people or yeah, it's just funny that they don't know the backstory. Even though I've been in the newspaper, the local newspaper, it's like, it's just kind of funny to see the same people and they're out walking, I'm out running. Yeah. So,
So like she seems to run a lot.
yeah. And then it's like pouring down rain. They're like getting their mail. Oh my gosh, you're running?
Yeah. What's that crazy lady doing running again? So I wonder, with all your running in the run streak, the next category is your top three recovery tools or foods. Is that something you think much about in terms of recovery? I know you're deep
Mhm.
into like yoga and stuff like that. I wonder if that's an element of your recovery or
Yeah. Well, also because I've been running every day, I'm not an expert in like planning. Like you'd think I'd be better, I guess, of having things more organized. Like for example, yesterday I ran 5 miles. I was like drenched with sweat. I don't know how much body weight I lost in water, running in the humidity. And I didn't drink water for like 2 or 3 hours after that run. And I'm like, yeah, I could be so much better at this. So, but if I want to, you know, be great at it, I have this like recovery drink because I'm also vegetarian, mostly vegan. So it's not like, and I don't do like the protein shakes, but there's at least carbs and protein in this. It's called First Endurance.
okay.
And I just sometimes chug that after a run. And yeah, I do yoga practice. I used to practice like 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours every morning.
Wow.
So it's not necessarily a recovery thing, it's just something extra. um, Foam roller is great. Uh, yeah, I don't know if it's just part of my lifestyle where I just run, but
Awesome. Well, we rocked through the categories. With you have such an amazing and I think unique perspective on running. This has been so cool. Can you leave one last thought for runners out there?
last thought. Great. Um, last. I mean, I have so many bad ideas.
Feel free.
Yeah. I think so. My last thought, even with like coaching other runners, especially in like today's age with like the mass amount of information, one person says you should do this, one person says do this, somebody else is like you need at least one rest day, or someone's like you can run 3 times a week, still train for a marathon. I mean, obviously it's good to do your research, but I feel like in today's age, like find yourself, find what works for you. Everybody has their own middle way, and everybody has a middle way at certain points of their life. Like in my early 20s, my middle way was running 70 miles a week, and I felt great, you know? So it's like, find, I mean, obviously you need guidance, but just try to find your own authenticity and don't let other people change your mind about it or steer you one way that you don't feel resonates like deep within your soul. Because throughout my running streak, 23 years, I've almost had more naysayers than support. And I just kind of stuck to what I wanted to do and I just wanted to run. It's not like we're doing anything too crazy out here. I'm just going out for a run 5 hours after getting birth. I'm just going to do my run because I can, right? So yeah, I mean, do things with intention and purpose, and for a general like love for what you're doing. And that's, to me, that's running. Maybe for you as well.
Love it.
Yeah.
Eliza, thank you so much. This has been such an amazing thing to have you on. It was really an honor. And yeah, I should have mentioned at the beginning that you're also a coach. So people out there can also look to Daily Run with Za for guidance in their coaching. So definitely reach out, find her on IG. Thank you so much.
All right. Yeah. Thank you.